Hello Internet, and welcome back to another Pokemon Challenge run. Today's video is a highly requested run of the 4th generation Pokemon game, Pokemon Platinum. In this run, I will be attempting to beat the entire game using only a male Combee. This particular run should be especially difficult because, unlike its female counterpart, the male Combee doesn't actually evolve at level 21. Nope, it stays a Combee the entire game. Combee is known universally to be, well, a terrible Pokemon. Its only redeeming stat being speed, everything else is absolutely garbage. Just like my other runs, we're going to attempt to beat the entire game without using any items in battle. Also, any other Pokemon we have in our party will be for HM use only and will be left fainted so they can't possibly be dragged into battle. I modified the game so that Combee is our starter instead of Turtwig, meaning our rival is going to have a Chimchar. And you might be thinking this is not a good idea because fire is super effective against bug, but you'll see why later. The first battle of the game is with our rival, Flex Boy, and he has a Chimchar. Now it doesn't really matter who your starter Pokemon is in this fight because, you're both level 5, it's really easy. All I have to do to win is repeatedly spam Gust until my opponent dies. Luckily he goes for some Leers instead of attacking me, and I get to get the free win. Apparently the defeat wasn't embarrassing enough for our rival because before we can even make it to the first gym, he's ready to battle again. This time he has a level 7 Starly on his team, which luckily doesn't use anything other than Growl, although I think its only other attacking move is Tackle. After knocking that thing out, his Chimchar comes out once again, but all it wants to do is use Leer. So of course we're going to go ahead and kill it relatively easily, hitting us level 10 already. With that out of the way, it's time to take on our first gym leader of the playthrough, Roark. Now Roark uses rock type Pokemon, which you might be thinking is going to be tough on our bee's knees here, and you'd be right. It turns out rock is super effective against bug and flying, of which I'm both, meaning I'm going to be taking 4 times damage from his rock type moves. Also, Combee has crap for defenses, and I'm sure you realize by now that one rock throw is going to kill me. Well, I guess I'm going to go train a little bit. Lucky for me, I did my homework before starting this playthrough and learned about EV training. If you don't know what EV training is, I would highly suggest looking up a guide to explain it because I don't have time to explain it all in this video. If you don't feel like looking it up though, all you really need to know is killing these wild Machops is going to increase my attack stat over time, allowing my Bug Bite to do more damage. And also by coincidence, there just so happens to be wild Machops north of the city, so I have plenty of time to train up and get ready for the gym. After a decent training sesh, I return to the gym and give it another shot. But this fight's no different. My Bug Bite still does crap for damage, and Geodude can knock me down to 1 health with a single rock throw. Meaning, I'm not getting through the first Pokemon of 3, so I've got some real problems on my hands. I guess I'm gonna go have to train up on some more wild Machops and get some more levels. Part of me is really upset that Combee's having such a tough time with the first gym, but at the same time, they are 4 times effective against him. Not to mention, their high physical defense makes Bug Bite a tough option to use. The only other move we have is Gust, which is special damage, but it's not very effective against rock. So I feel like Bug Bite is at least worth going for the neutral damage. After lots and lots of grinding, it's time to challenge him again. This time, we're level 24. Almost twice the level we were when we first attempted this. But still, we're only able to half health Geodude, and his rock throw nearly kills us. By the time Onix comes out, we can't even put a dent in him before he finishes us off. After yet another grinding session, we return at level 27, hoping for a different result. I'm sure by now Roark is just laughing at us because of all the failure. But this time we're able to actually knock Geodude down to below half health with 1 Bug Bite, and his rock throw misses. After the potion, we're able to easily outspeed it, knocking it out without taking any damage. A pretty stark difference from the last 2 fights. When the Onix comes out, we're able to knock it down to half health with 1 Bug Bite. And we take the rock throw pretty well, not even dealing 1/4 of our health. A critical hit will finish Onix off, and last up is Cranidos. Lucky for us, Cranidos doesn't have nearly as good of defenses as Geodude and Onix, so a Bug Bite is going to nearly kill him, and all he's going to go for is a Leer, and Roark's going to heal him up with a potion. And that potion is not going to heal him up enough to survive another Bug Bite. And that's that. The first gym badge is ours. I don't know whether or not to be proud, we're already level 27. Oh lord, this does not bode well for the rest of the playthrough. Next up, we deal with some Team Galactic Shenanigans. These guys are the evil villains of this game. And much like my last playthroughs, I'm not going to include the footage from a lot of these fights, because even for a Combee, they're incredibly easy. However, I will include the fight with Commander Mars because I did learn something very interesting here. When I used Bug Bite on the Purugly, I noticed that my bee's knees ate the berry that the Purugly was holding. As it turns out, using Bug Bite on an enemy Pokemon that's holding a berry will allow my Combee to steal their berry and consume it. And if you didn't already know, most of the important battles and gym leaders in this game have their strongest Pokemon holding a citrus berry. This means I'm going to get to heal up off that Pokemon and take the berry away from them so they can't use it. This is going to help me out a lot. While I'm traveling through the Eterna Forest with Pokemon Trainer Cheryl, I realize that I can have double encounters with these Badoos. This is actually really beneficial because I can get 2 special attack EVs per encounter rather than 1 off of 1 Badoo. So I take some time to train up on these guys and get my levels up. I killed a crap ton of Machops to get my physical attack EVs up. Now it's time to get my special attack EVs up so that Gust is more powerful. After I get sick of training, it's time to take on the second gym leader, Gardenia. Now, obviously if you couldn't tell by the name, she uses grass types, which is no match for my powered up Gust. Plus I'm level 32, so I pretty much have no problem here. I knock out the Turtwig in 2 hits, as well as the Cherrim. Next comes out Roserade. And you might be wondering why I didn't use Bug Bite so that I could eat its citrus berry here, but the main reason is it's part poison also, so Bug Bite is not going to be super effective. The only difference is it's going to take about 3 Gusts to kill it instead of 2. After that cakewalk of a fight, I'm finally feeling a little bit more confident about this playthrough. It's nice to see the bee's knees can actually sweep through a gym. Even though I am level 33 and I only have 2 badges. Let's just keep moving. Also, in case you're curious, here are my stats at level 33. Wow, that's bad. Moving on, it's time to do our civic duty and take on Team Galactic in their little hideout. Commander Jupiter is the only notable fight. She actually manages to kill me a few times. But after a small training session, we come back for another fight, and Skunk Tank uses Poison Gas as its first move instead of going for the Night Slash spam, which as you can see here, actually does a pretty good chunk. But as a result of its poor move choice, we're able to knock it out and move on with the game. Next up, it's time for our third gym battle with the gym leader, Fantina. The first Pokemon, Duskull, isn't that big of an issue, but I can't quite kill it in 2 hits, which allows it to get the Will-O-Wisp off on me, even after the first one misses. Next up is Miss Magius, who hits the crap out of me with Shadow Ball, along with the burn damage means I'm not going to have any health left to take on the incoming Psybeam. And I die. After realizing I don't stand a chance, I train up on some more Badoos, a lot of Badoos, and get my special attack EVs up. Even at level 45, I'm still dying to Miss Magius a lot, and I have to keep resetting until I get lucky enough with the confusion rolls and the damage rolls. Finally, I make it to the Haunter with just enough HP to survive a Shadow Claw and finish it off with a Gust. Honestly, I was just expecting for Haunter to kill himself with Curse like he normally does in my playthroughs, but I guess they finally fixed the messed up AI. Or maybe I just got lucky. Or unlucky? I don't know. Anyways, on our way out of the city, our rival Flex Boy wants to have another battle. But this time, his team really doesn't stand a chance against me. His Staravia does have Intimidate, but I'm just going to spam Gust for the entire fight, so it's actually not going to do anything to me, as Gust is a special attacking move. His Staravia goes for a double team, which allows me to knock it out in 2 hits, and then from here it's just a cakewalk. His Chimchar is now a Monferno, which means our Gust is going to be super effective against it, making it an easy kill. Next up is a Buizel, which is definitely not a threatening Pokemon, and is going to die with 1 hit from Gust. After that, all that's left is a Roselia, which Gust is also super effective against, making it a one-shot. Next, we head over to the Veilstone City Game Corner, and we pick up a very important item, the Metronome. Now, I actually didn't know what this item was until I looked it up, but it turns out it's very useful for this playthrough because Combee only has 2 moves. What this item does is increase the attack power of the move you're using by 10% each time you use it consecutively. This boost can continually stack up to 100%, which is going to help us out a lot. Now it's time to take on the 4th gym leader, Maylene. Now Maylene is a fighting type user, which means I actually get to have type advantage here again. The first Pokemon Metatite is going to go down with an easy Gust, no problem. And keep in mind, since this is a fighting type gym, I'm going to be spamming Gust the entire time. And now that I have the Metronome in my hand, it's going to be increasing in power each time I use it, so it's only going to get easier. After Machoke goes down, Lucario comes out. Lucario is part fighting and part steel, so my flying type hits are actually going to be neutral because of this. I still do a good chunk, and if I used Gust again, I probably could have taken it out, but I opted to use Bug Bite to try to eat its berry. Unfortunately, it did not have one, and that ended up causing problems for me because now I reset my Metronome. Now instead of knocking it out, we get it to like 1 HP, and it's able to nearly kill me. I have 4 hit points left, and we're able to take it out with a final gust, making that a closer call than it needed to be. Next we head over to Pastoria City and prepare to take on Crasher Wake. But before we can do that, our rival wants to battle once again right outside the gym, and he's just as easy as last time. Most of his Pokemon are weak to my flying type move and go down in one hit, and even the ones that aren't are so weak by the time Metronome builds up its power that they also go down in one hit. I wish I could say the same for Crasher Wake. His first Pokemon, Gyarados, is an absolute problem. I can only get it down into Hyper Potion range before it finishing me off with 15 HP left. Even after a massive grind session, I'm level 66 and I can barely make it to the final Pokemon, Quagsire. And I nearly take it out with a gust, but the move it happens to know is Rock Tomb, which is definitely going to kill me from this HP. Bye bye. After grinding up to the meme level of 69, we challenge him again. And after a few tries, we actually do pretty well. Gyarados goes down in 2 hits, and then the Floatzel goes for an Ice Fang and misses, allowing us to knock him out with 2 hits from Gust. Next up is Quagsire, and he goes for a Rock Tomb, which isn't the most accurate move. Luckily he misses, but then he gets Hyper Potion to full HP. However, we knock him right back down, and since we outspeed him, we're able to take him out of the next turn. And with that, we've finally beaten Crasher Wake at level 69. Next up, before grabbing the HM03, we have to take down the Team Galactic boss Cyrus. Lucky for us, his Pokemon are pretty weak, and all go down in about 2 hits. The only reason his Murkrow survives longer than that is because he uses a Hyper Potion on it, but he still goes down with no problem. Next we head over to Canalab City to challenge the gym and pick up the Strength HM. But first we're going to get a visit from our rival again, who still doesn't understand that he's never going to be able to beat a Combee. His team is now fully evolved, having a Staraptor and an Infernape, but they're still not strong enough to withstand any amount of hits from my Gust. Staraptor barely survives 2, and Infernape's definitely going to go down with 1 due to his fighting type. The next Pokemon, Heracross, is also fighting and bug type, so it's going to be 4 times weak to my Gust. After that comes out Floatzel, and Floatzel's not very threatening either. It does know Aqua Jet and manages to get a hit off on me, but that's about it. Roserade goes down in 1 hit as well, so that's an easy fight with the rival. Now it's time for the first big wall of the playthrough, and reality check if you will. Now my Combee is really high level, but it's still not going to be a match for these steel types. I can't do any damage to him with my moves, and Magneton, the first Pokemon, knows Thunderbolt, which is always going to kill me. At this level I managed to survive with 16 HP, but as you can see, it finishes me off with no problem, and I still haven't even seen the other team members. I heal up and come back and try again to see if it was a fluke, but as you can see, nope, that time it actually one-shot me. The higher damage roll, I couldn't survive at all. Not even a single hit. So I hit the fields and grind up and come back to challenge him again. This time I'm level 84. And my Bug Bite actually does a good chunk with a critical hit, and then Magneton wastes his turn by using Metal Sound, allowing me to kill him without actually taking any damage. But then the beast comes out. Bastiodon. Now this thing is not only tanky as crap, he also knows Stone Edge, which nearly kills me every time. Not to mention, sometimes I'm still a one-shot for the Magneton and I can't even get through him, and that's the first Pokemon. I'm gonna have to grind up to max level, it looks like. I return at level 94, hoping for a better result. Spoiler alert, there is no better result. I die again. Even from level 94, after a Metal Sound goes off, Magneton will always one-shot me. Just to be sure, I tried multiple times. But even if I did live, I realized I got no health left. Bastiodon still knows Stone Edge, and I don't even know what the last Pokemon is, so I don't stand a chance. I have to hit level 100. After a painstaking grind session, we're level 100 now, and we come back in and we're hoping for the best. Now, if we can't do it now, we're never going to be able to do it because we're level 100. We can't get any stronger than this. Magneton wastes his turn with Metal Sound and allows us to knock him out without taking any damage. But now comes out Bastiodon. We eat his Citrus Berry, but his Stone Edge is still going to knock us down to 68 HP. There's no way we can kill him unless he misses all of his Stone Edges, which he does miss one, but the next one he lands. So we kinda got close, maybe? However, after a couple more fights of realizing that Thunderbolt can still nearly one-shot me or even one-shot me from level 100, I realized that we're not going to be able to do this. Out of all the fights and all the deaths and even all the good luck, we still can't get through Bastiodon. But I'm not ready to give up just yet. We've come way too far to throw in the towel now. I do some research and I find out that I can gather some shards and teach my bee a few more moves. So, after gathering those shards together, I head over to the move tutor and learn the last 2 moves that this Pokemon can even learn. Ominous Wind and Air Cutter. Air Cutter is just a stronger, slightly less accurate version of Gust with a high critical hit ratio, and Ominous Wind is a Ghost type move that has the ability to potentially raise all of my stats every time I use it. Granted, it's a small chance, but any type of move like this that buffs my weak Pokemon is a pretty good move. With our newfound power, we head back and challenge Byron again. This time, the battle goes about as good as it can. Magneton wastes his turn using Metal Sound, and I knock him out with a couple Ominous Winds. Now, Ominous Wind isn't necessarily doing much more damage than my previous moves, but I guess I got lucky, along with the Metronome powering it up, because I ended up actually taking out Bastiodon. Next comes out Steelix, and I was very nervous because of how Jasmine treated me in the previous games. Lucky for me, all it does is a Sandstorm on the first turn, and then a Flash Cannon which nearly kills me and leaves me with 12 HP. Just enough to take it out. We finally got over the wall, everybody. But what's next? Next, we deal with some Team Galactic nonsense, and then we head over to Snowy City to challenge Candace. She's of course an Ice-type gym leader. Now, her Ice-type moves are super effective against me, but they don't do too much damage. The Sneasel actually survives a few hits, but the Ominous Wind we picked up is super effective against her Frostlass, and the Abomasnow goes down with a Bug Bite. But of course, the last Pokemon, Piloswine, knows Stone Edge, which is going to kill me. On the very next fight though, we managed to survive with 14 HP after the Stone Edge and the Hail damage, and we're allowed to get off another Bug Bite. This time she full restores, but we've had 4 Bug Bites in a row, and our Metronome has powered it up to a pretty good range. Next, before we can take on the final gym, we have to defeat all of the Team Galactic storyline once and for all. Starting off with a battle with Cyrus. Now, I actually died here a few times, but after a few tries, I was able to get enough critical hits and lucky power buildups from Metronome to take him down with no problem. Next up, we have a battle with Team Galactic boss Saturn, and she actually goes down with no problem, and we're managed to win on the first try. After Cyrus completely rips a hole in time and space itself, we find ourselves in a very strange world. And I gotta say, I don't like this place very much. A lot of bad things happen here, aside from you can see me walking upside down. This is just the half of it. It's about to get a lot worse. Here we're faced with a very difficult challenge. The Team Galactic boss Cyrus fight is very different than the other ones. All of his Pokemon are fully evolved, and he has more than he's ever had. Not to mention the fact that his first Pokemon, Houndoom, is either super effective against me or places a burn on me that's going to screw me over for the rest of the fight. Then comes out Honchkrow, and this thing knows Drill Peck. If I don't take it down in one hit, it's going to hurt the crap out of me. After that comes out a Crobat, which is extremely fast and will always hit me first, either using Cross Poison or Air Slash to take me down. In this first fight, I actually managed to make it farther than I did in many of the other attempts after this. I made it to the Gyarados, where he puts the Intimidate on me, but I'm still low HP, and his Ice Fang is of course super effective. I'm left with 1 HP, and the burn finishes me off. The subsequent fights after this do not go well. Even if I managed to make it to the Crobat, he finished me off with no problem, but that's if I can even get through the Honchkrow, which I don't every time. In one fight out of many, I actually made it to the final Pokemon, Weavile, but his Fake Out is faster than me and just eliminates me right on the spot. Believe me when I say I probably tried this fight 100 times, and I died and I died and I died. At some point, it became clear to me there's no way I can possibly win this fight. After nearly giving up in numerous tries and defeats, we finally got lucky. We managed to make it to the Weavile again, but this time we managed to outspeed it. So I'm assuming we speed tied? I'm not really sure, but I'll take it as a victory. And after that bloodbath, we meet up with Giratina and kill it, restoring time and space back to its rightful place. And somehow, right where it dies, it drops a magical portal that's going to return us to our world. How convenient. After that's all said and done, it's time to earn ourselves the final badge so we can take on the Elite Four. The 8th gym leader is Volkner, the electric type user. Now, his Pokemon love to use Thunder Wave, so I gave my Pokemon a berry to hold so that it can heal its own paralysis in mid-battle. Now luckily, I actually killed Jolteon in one hit with a critical, so it didn't use the Thunder Wave on me. And then when the static kicked in from Raichu, the berry came into effect and healed me. Next, we managed to tank a Thunder Fang from Luxray and finish it off in 2 hits. The next Pokemon, Electivire, comes out, and I don't have hardly any health to deal with it. Luckily, Bug Bite comes into play here, and I managed to steal its Citrus Berry and heal myself with it. Then it goes for a Fire Punch and leaves me with just enough HP to finish the fight. The thing is here, if he used the same type attack bonus move like Thunder or Thunder Punch even, it would have definitely killed me. Thank goodness he opted for Fire Punch. Next up is the moment we've all been waiting for, the Elite Four. Now I go ahead and buy some items to use inside of these battles if I need to. I'm going to attempt to beat them with no items, but if I reach a point where I can't, I'll have the items to suffice. First we have to deal with our rival though, and he actually manages to beat us on the first try because Air Slash missed on his Roserade. On the next fight though, everything goes according to plan, and this time it doesn't miss on Roserade, and we take him down. That's the last we'll see of Flex Boy. The first member of the Elite Four is Aaron. He's a bug type user, which means thank goodness we'll have an easy time here, because it's not going to be easy after this. Yanmega goes down with one Air Cutter, followed by Vespiquen. Drapion actually manages to survive a hit, but his Ice Fang isn't going to do enough to save him, and he's going to go down easily. Next up is Heracross, who we're 4 times effective against, and last but not least, Scizor. But we get a critical hit and take him out. And that's Aaron defeated. The next member is Bertha, the ground type user. Her first Pokemon is Whiscash, which is a water ground type that's pretty tanky, but not all that offensive. We take him down pretty low with a Bug Bite, but his Aqua Tail does a decent chunk. Another one will finish him off, but then comes out Golem. Now I hate rock types, I've had trouble with them all game, but this one actually goes down in 2 hits thanks to a lucky critical. But it does manage to set up a Sandstorm, which is going to do damage to us every turn. Next up is Rhyperior. After eating his Citrus Berry and recovering some health, we still can't take one shot from his Rock Wrecker. He's an absolute beast. In the next fight, I got a very rude wake-up call. I knocked out Whiscash with a critical hit, followed by knocking out Golem in 2 hits, and I enter the Rhyperior fight with 166 HP. After eating its Citrus Berry with Bug Bite, I'm full health, and he still knocks me out in 1 shot. That means I literally cannot kill this thing, no matter what my health is. It will always one-shot me. After coming to terms with reality, despite how far we've made it, it's time to start using items in battle. I use an X special to power up my special attack, and then I proceed to one-shot the Whiscash. Then out comes Golem, who survives an ominous wind and nearly kills me with a Thunder Punch. Luckily the Sandstorm subsides, and I finish him off with an ominous wind. Next up is the beast, Rhyperior, but we manage to take him down in 1 hit from ominous wind. Then comes out the Gliscor, and as you can see, Ominous Wind is going to carry us through the rest of this fight. Hippowdon whips up a Sandstorm, so if we don't one-hit him here, we're dead, but luckily we do. And with that, we defeated Bertha. The next Elite Four member is Flint, the Fire-type user. All of his Pokemon are super effective against me, and while the first one doesn't usually go for anything other than Sunny Day, his next Pokemon Flareon always hits me with Overheat and can take me down from full HP. Add to that the fact that sometimes Houndoom cuts out the middleman and goes for Flamethrower himself, and you'll quickly realize that this fight is definitely not in my favor. No matter if I manage to take him out or not, I got no health left for when I get to Flareon. Unfortunately, once again, the only way to win this battle is to abuse items. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stall out Flareon with using Hyper Potions while he decreases his special attack stat by constantly going for Overheat. Then it gives me a good chance to buff up my special attack myself and allow me to sweep the team. Unfortunately, as pathetic as it is, this is the only way Combee can get through this fight. Otherwise, he just can't survive. Now that we have buff stats, we sweep through the rest of the team no problem and finish him off. The next Elite Four member is Lucian, the Psychic type user. Now this one is going to be a walk in the park, especially after the past few battles we've been through, because we have Bug Bite, which is super effective against all these Pokemon. Not to mention we're holding Metronome, which every time we use it is going to power it up even more, allowing us to sweep through the team with no problem. Gladion is the only one to survive, but we also eat his Citrus Berry, so he has no chance of healing back up. Then Espeon comes out, and it's an easy one-shot. The next Pokemon, Bronzong, is Steel and Psychic, so it actually manages to survive a Bug Bite due to its strong defenses, but it wastes its turn with a Calm Mind and allows us to knock it out. Alakazam comes out, who is a big threat and faster than me, and hits me pretty hard, but he's easily going to go down as he's a glass cannon. And that's Lucian defeated. With the Elite Four out of the way, the last battle is with the champion Cynthia. And I quickly realized that unfortunately, Combee is not going to be able to win this fight either. By the time I get through the first Pokemon, I got 28 health left, so I go for a Hyper Potion to try to give myself a chance. And sadly, Togekiss is strong enough to hit me with an Air Slash and kill me from full HP. Unfortunately, I'm forced to abuse the fact that Spiritomb can't kill me in a couple hits, so I'm gonna use Hyper Potions to keep my health high while I use X Specials to boost my stats. After setting up, I'm easily able to clear through her whole team with Air Cutter, knocking them all out in one hit, until Garchomp comes out. Garchomp actually outspeeds me and knocks me down in one hit. Every time I set up and make it all the way to Garchomp, he's still faster than me and knocks me out even in one hit from full HP with Dragon Rush. Now, one thing I didn't buy when I set up for this Elite Four run was X speeds, so I don't have any. So I'm forced to reset the fight until Ominous Wind gives me the buff, which allows all of my stats to go up by one stage. I'm hoping this is enough to outspeed Garchomp, and we're gonna find out. I then continue to set up like normal and then get ready to finish the fight. With the perfect circumstances, we're finally able to take out the entire team. Milotic goes down in one shot, as well as Lucario, like they always did. But now it's time for the moment of truth. Can we outspeed Garchomp? And we do. And we take him down in one hit, and from there, it's mega easy. Roserade is the final Pokemon, with whom I'm super effective against, so I'm not worried at all. We take him down, and with that, our Bee's Knees has become the champion. We did it. We had to use items in 3 battles, guys, but other than that, we did the whole entire game with no items, and I'm really proud and impressed with Combee. I should have shown this before, but for those of you who are curious, here are the stats for my Combee at level 100. As you can see, the special attack EV training along with the attack EV training really paid off in the end. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for this video. This took incredibly long to make, so please let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below, and maybe leave it a like if you enjoyed it. Also, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing because I do these types of challenges often, and I will take your suggestions if you leave them in the comments below. I also have a randomizer Nuzlocke running right now if you want to check that out. But thank you guys for watching so much, and have a good life. Bye bye.